Call to order the City Council meeting for the City of East Grand Forks for Tuesday, September 4th, 2018. Is now 5 o'clock. Would City Clerk please call roll?
Mayor Steve Gander.
Here.
Council President Mark Olstead.
Here.
Council Vice President Chad Grassel.
Here.
Council Members Clarence Vetter.
Here.
Mike Pekshavinsky.
Here.
Tim Riopel.
Here.
Henry Tweeten.
Here.
Mark Demers.
Present.
As a term quorum, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. An open forum opportunity for members of the public to address the City Council on items not on the current agenda. Items requiring council action may be referred to staff, boards, and commissions for research and future council agendas if appropriate. If you'd like to address the City Council, please come up to the podium to do so at this time. I see none. Approval of minutes for the August 14th work session, August 21st regular meeting, and August 21st special meeting.
Move.
Moved by Demers.
Second.
Second by Riopel. Any questions or discussion? See none. Roll call, please.
Riopel.
Yes.
Tweeten.
Yes.
Olstead.
Yes.
Grassel.
Yes.
Demers.
Yes.
Vetter.
Yes.
Pekshavinsky.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Scheduled bid lettings, none. Scheduled public hearings, none. Consent agenda, there's none. Acknowledge a receipt of reports, officers, and boards and commission, there's none. Communication, there's none. Old business, none. New business, number 4, consider adopting resolution number 18-09-53, approving the reimbursement to Elliott Knudsen for $1,500 for the additional cost of an installation of driveway required by city code.
Move.
Moved by Demers.
Second.
Second by Grassel. Any questions or discussion? See none. Roll call, please.
Riopel.
No.
Tweeten.
Yes.
Olstead.
Yes.
Grassel.
Yes.
Demers.
Yes.
Vetter.
Yes.
Pekshavinsky.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Number 5, consider adopting resolution number 18-09-54, appointing Dennis Bona to the library board. Moved by Tweeten.
Second.
Second by Vetter. Any questions or discussion? See none. Roll call, please.
Riopel.
Yes.
Tweeten.
Yes.
Olstead.
Yes.
Grassel.
Yes.
Demers.
Yes.
Vetter.
Yes.
Pekshavinsky.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Number 6, consider adopting resolution number 18-09-55, adopting revised assessment roll 339 for 2015 assessment job number 2, paving in Point Woods 5th and 6th editions for a total assessment of $304,850.19. Is there a motion?
I'll move.
Moved by Grassel. Second by Tweeten. Any discussion or questions? Mr. Pekshavinsky.
Thank you, Mr. President. I've given this item a lot of thought, and I initially was going to support it. But I did a lot of thinking over the weekend and just recalled some of the calls I got from people that were opposed to this subsidy, and many of them were paying assessments of their own, and they felt it was an injustice that they had to help pay for a subsidy for another assessment project. And many of them have large assessments because their projects were done during the oil boom, the prices were inflated, and then it just added insult to injury to have them help pay for another project. I supported the subsidy. It's in my ward, and I think this is just an opportunity to give us a small consolation to those that felt that was an injustice. I think it's the just thing to do, and it's the right thing to do. So I'm going to vote no on this item.
Mr. Grassel.
So I went out on record and said that I wasn't going to vote for this. So now I'm going to contradict you, Mr. Pekshavinsky. Thought about it, had a conversation, and we voted for the $25,000, and I guess that would have been part of the $25,000. So therefore, I'm going to vote yes. So am I happy about it? No, but that's just the way I kind of feel on that whole situation. So I'm going to go to the opposite with you. So.
Anybody else have any? Mayor Gander.
All the residents affected by this development, including those on Laurel, including those on Brandon and on the 2 circles, did so in good faith that the city would contribute this dollar amount, the $25,000, and it was allocated to that section of street that lays out inside of Laurel Drive. It was a portion that arguably should not go on to the Brandon project. It should have gone as an end benefit onto Laurel, but that was going to be difficult for them to swallow. So everyone did what they did. The folks on Brandon and the new development didn't object because the city ponied up to 25. Folks on Laurel voluntarily accepted an assessment on their properties contingent upon the city committing the 25. And in good faith, I don't feel that it would be right for us to take the full discount ourselves on our $25,000 when some of them have $50,000 or $60,000 in specials between curb gutter, sewer, water, pavement. It's a lot of money. And again, all of them acted in good faith that the city would do what we said we would do. And I don't think it would be in good faith if we now took all of this discount as a credit to our portion.
Anybody else have anything? Mr. Demers.
Thank you, Mr. President. I guess I would disagree that it was just a deal for the city to give $25,000. The end deal, the only agreement that we ended up doing was to set the amounts for the people, and they agreed to that. Now, yes, the specials are high. I think if we would have went to court, they're defensible. They are well within the market for the area, especially on properties that have that lot size. Now, and I don't want to rehash all the arguments, but the argument was, you know, the city owes these people $25,000 because for some reason, nobody really clearly explained to me why people on 5th Avenue Northwest or people on 10th Avenue Southeast have any responsibility to pay for other people's specials. If we agree to this, this does nothing but give more money back into those people's pockets. It doesn't do anything for anybody else. If we take this money back from from the subsidized amount, the only people that are affected are the entirety of the city, which includes those people as well. They don't have to pay that money. So I think that there was an agreement as to what the amount people are willing to pay without having to go to court. And if we go back on this, all we're doing is moving that goalpost the other direction. So I'm not going to vote for this. I think the city's already paid $10,000 too much even if we do this. So, but carry on.
Anybody else have anything to add? See none. Roll call, please.
Riepel,
Yes.
Tweeten,
Yes.
Olsted,
Yes.
Grassel,
Yes.
Demers,
No.
Better,
No.
Pakshavinsky.
No.
Motion is carried. Number 7, consider adopting resolution number 18-09-56, approving the proposal from Woodseth Smith & Nolting for replatting city properties for a total of $80,000 over an 8-year period. Is there a motion? Moved by Tweeten.
Second.
Second by Demers. Any questions or discussion? See none. Roll call, please.
Riepel,
Yes.
Tweeten,
Yes.
Olsted,
Yes.
Grassel,
Yes.
Demers,
Yes.
Better,
Yes.
Pakshavinsky.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Claims. Consider authorizing the city administrator, clerk, treasurer to issue payment of recommended bills and payroll.
Move.
By Grassel, second by Demers. Roll call.
Riepel,
Yes.
Tweeten,
Yes.
Olsted,
Yes.
Grassel,
Yes.
Demers,
Yes.
Better,
Yes.
Pakshavinsky.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Mayor Gander.
So we talk a fair amount about the relationship that's forming between our city and the Grand Forks Air Force Base. Of course, that's been going on for many years. I remember as a kid, we had Colonel Wolmering living next door to us, and he was in charge of the base at that time. But all the way to now, the other night when we met with the Secretary of the Air Force, I forgot to mention that Ron Galstead was there also, hobnobbing with these folks. and we had a brigadier general, and it was really quite an enjoyable evening. Well, I got an email, a little bit of a last-minute thing, but it's something I'm able to do. Chief Master Sergeant Brian Thomas, so the chief for the base, has asked if I would participate with him tomorrow night in a Facebook Live event, which I don't even know what a Facebook Live event is, but I will participate in that. I'm guessing there's some audio and video that will show up in this thing. It's happening tomorrow night at 6 o'clock at the Blue Moose. And what we know is a good number of folks from the base like to live in East Grand Forks. I think it has a lot to do with schools and neighborhoods and fun things to do over here. So we'll talk about some of that. And he brought up again this connection that he has seen now developing also with Northland Community Technical College. And he wants to talk about all of these things as to why his airmen like to live over here and even to visit and do things. We know that Grand Forks has a great relationship with the Grand Forks Air Force Base, and I would think that what we do is we partner with the city of Grand Forks in improving the quality of lives for these airmen, both for those who live in the area, but also this becomes a PR for anyone who might someday be stationed here. You know, if they're coming to Grand Forks, North Dakota, to an Air Force base, they really don't know what they're getting into. So the more we can put out there in this case in social media, what it is to be in this community as a member of the Grand Forks Air Force Base, I think that's cool. So that'll happen tomorrow night at 6, and it'll be at the Blue Moose. That's all I got.
Better.
I don't have anything, thank you.
Mr. Pochowinski.
Nothing tonight.
Mr. Riepel.
Nothing.
Mr. Tweeten.
Nothing.
Mr. Demers.
Just one thing I'd like to say that this morning, driving down Bigland this morning, I saw Chief Headland out on the corner of Greenway and Bigland, or 13th Greenway and Bigland, out there in his blues, making sure that the kids were crossing safely, and it was nice to see. He was out of the car. People were looking at, you know, it's good to see our guys out there, and it does portray our officers in a great way. I had one person comment to me on it, and I know you've done it in the past, and hope that we keep doing that and doing it more frequently, not just on first days of school, but throughout the year. Thank you.
Mr. Grassel.
Kind of stole my thunder, but thanks to Mike and Chief, the fire chief over there, Mr. Larson. Both guys, they had guys at all 3 buildings or 4 buildings today, and guys out on the corners. Things went pretty smooth at New Heights, considering we have, 443 kids, and I think we had 443 parents come through the door today to bring their kids to school. So it was kind of a smooth to have that officer out there. And he came in and checked in a couple times, so I appreciate that. And we at the school appreciate it as well. Thanks.
I have nothing for tonight.
I have nothing.
Mr. Gulstead.
Nothing.
Mr. Emery. Nothing. Anything from the department heads? I see none. Entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Riepel. Second by Demers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Meeting is adjourned.
I can't.
Well, that was a quick one.
1 second.
A quick one tonight here.
No, everybody works their own mind, their own mind. He's right.
And I have some Thanks for your help.
I appreciate that. I said that same thing, actually.
I like it.